Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. It's finally now time to delve into our phone-in segment, and we will be discussing on critical issues, as always, that affects the everyday Nigerian and us all in the nation. It's about the national security. Is self-help a solution? The recent surge in insecurity across Nigeria has left many citizens feeling helpless and frustrated, from banditry to kidnapping and insurgency to police brutality, and the security landscape is complex. In the face of these challenges, some Nigerians are taking matters into their own hands, resorting to self-defense and vigilantism. But is self-help a viable solution to Nigeria's security woes? Can citizens truly rely on themselves for protection, or does this approach pose more risks than benefits? Are they equipped to protect themselves? Are they capable of protecting themselves? We'll explore these questions and more with our viewers' calls. You would have to look at the ability, capability, and with even of recent having a former Minister of Defense saying that Nigerians should protect themselves because the security agencies that we have in place are not capable of doing that. So what do you think about that? If you're watching and have thoughts on national security and self-help, we want to hear from you. Call us now and share your views. Let's discuss the implications of self-help in ensuring safety and security in Nigeria. Make sure you call us on the number displayed on your screen and send us a WhatsApp message so that we can read your thoughts and discuss on it. So what do you think about self-help, the everyday Nigerian protecting themselves, in as much as they're not capable of, I wouldn't say they're not capable, but they don't have as much resources to tackle those, attacks that are being projected towards them?
I think, first of all, it just shows, should we still have confidence in the security agencies at this point? But then again, we know clearly the limited number of security agents that are available, and we know how it is with resources or getting there in time as at when due. So putting all of that together, just maybe, if I could recall clearly, it was with you here where we had a security expert who spoke about, how would community members sit and allow bandits to round up 80, 60, 70 out of the community and they couldn't do anything about it. That's something to question. But we have a call. We have our first caller this morning. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning. Paul from Lafayette, Nasarawa State.
Good morning, Paul. How is Lafayette this morning?
Lafayette is cool. Only the heat is disturbing.
Okay. Throw more light on that and let's get your thought on our discussion this morning.
Okay. Judging from the question, is self-help the way forward? For now, that is the only option. Because if you look at the last report that the governor of Kaduna just gave, the number of the police personnel, the number of the army personnel in 80s, judging from the population, is more than now, even when we have a higher number of people giving birth to than before. The rising cases of killings, the government is not doing anything about it. Not that they are not aware. They have the resources.
Do we still have Mr. Paul on the line?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear you.
And so instead of being allowed yourself to be killed, self-defense is a right in the Constitution. So you have to defend yourself by any means. Since the government know and they are not willing to, they prefer themselves to guide themselves. If you see a governor pass, you see a number of policemen that guide him, a central convoy, all of them, everybody is protecting himself. And the common man is left to himself. So you have no other option. Not the best option, but for now, as is the only way out. God bless you.
God bless you. God bless Nigeria indeed. When I want to believe the aspects of self-defense they are probably referring to is not necessarily you by yourself taking up arms, but it also refers to having community vigilantes who are familiar with the community members and the locals there, and then they are able to put money together, equip these people and let them be able to carry out the protection of this community at night. I know that in my area that happens. There are vigilantes who are out there every night. They know everybody living there, and for each part they've insisted that there should be a gate to each entrance, so they are mounting each entrance, and if you're not someone living there, you're not going in there, bikes are being stopped at a certain some certain security
checks. So at one point having putting in place some security measures to ensure that at least you are a bit closer to safety than danger. But then when you look at it and the mobilization and everything that comes with it, funding as well is hard, because at the end of the day for Nigeria security agencies, funding is a big issue, because there are situations where they've gotten reports and video evidences of the people on ground that are tasked with fighting those terrorist attacks and banditry and kidnapping. They are immensely complaining that they are not properly equipped to handle those battles. So with them not being properly equipped, and that funding is hard to reach where it needs to reach, how is the average Nigerian supposed to put in place a mechanism where they would at least safeguard themselves with the current situation in the country as well? So there are different factors that would affect those, ideas or acts of keeping one safe.
Indeed, but when it comes to funding as well, we know we've seen security agencies coming out to talk about the sophistication of weapons owned by these bandits and owned by people who perpetrate insecurity. But before we get to all of that, the phone lines are still open, and the question still remains: Nigerian security and national security, is self-help the solution? How would you explain self-help? Would you say vigilante and community policing are working and are helping in ways they can? Send your message on WhatsApp and do well to call in. There are two numbers displayed on your screen, and we'll be here to talk to you. And we have the next caller. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning. My name is Do Good. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
Good morning, Do Good. How is Port Harcourt this morning?
The weather is very cool, very cool. Despite the ups and downs.
All right, Do Good.
Yes, to your issue this morning, it has been an everyday issue. Every moment, every day, every week, every month, every year. It baffles me because in the north, not have the highest generals, military generals, top army officers, all from north. And this kind of thing happens in the north and others sit on their ass, doing nothing. My heart bleeds for Northerners. My heart bleeds for Northerners. And to tell you the truth, the cause of all this present war is the cause, the total elders caused it. They should repair it. They caused it. They should repair it. Otherwise, it's a big calamity in the north, which nobody is happy about it. Nobody is happy about it at all. I know it's spreading gradually everywhere, but it's more bitter and hard on Northerners. I pity Northerners, mostly Benue, Plateaus, Kadunas. I can't understand. So please, like what the authorities said now, they can't be able to cope up. So they decide to have a self-defense. If self-defense, as last order said, is the best thing, let's go with it. Let them get a rifle and defend themselves. They're being killed like chicken and goat. It's not going anywhere. Or if they're tired, they should ask for foreign help to come and help us and control this menace. This is all I have to say about it. Thank you and God bless you all.
Thank you, good year indeed, for that thought. No, he has said his heart goes out to people who are suffering, those who are facing the insecurity, and as well, they should ask and call for help. But you made mention of funding, even down to, there's also that fear of lack of training for this supposed self-help. Do they know how to handle equipment? Do they understand what it means? And at the same time, on the other angle, where does this leave the public trust in the security agencies that they're already trying to trust? You also see stories of, the security agencies arrived after the attack, even when earlier information was being sent.
Exactly.
Also take a clear story of what is happening in the community in Zamfara, where the bandits are imposing levies on the community. It shows that the level of guts and stronghold these people have. If you're mentioning the forest where they are, it means you know where they are. If they called on on village chiefs to come and meet them where they are, it means these people know where they are, and they claim to be punishing them for giving information to the military in the first place.
Absolutely.
Why can't something be done to go back there and neutralize it completely and not allow them have a hold on the people? Where does this leave the trust the people have in them at this point? We have Amina from Kaduna. Good morning, Amina. It's been a while.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Thank you. The issue of insecurity in Nigeria is a serious issue, and unfortunately, it seems the government is doing nothing much. To me, I don't see the government doing anything, because I can't understand the reason why you have, when you are in your room and you say anything wrong about the government, before you know you are being picked. You are traced, you are tracked, and you are being picked. And you have these bandits in the bush kidnapping people, molesting people, and sending videos all over, and our security cannot trace them. This shows that something is wrong somewhere. When you are talking of being armed or arming ourselves to fight this, how do we do it? We're in a country that if you give access to free arms to people, it's going to be dangerous, because we are living in a society that almost everyone is frustrated. Before you know, you see people killing themselves. Yes, I understand when you talk of having vigilante, and when you have this vigilante, do they have the arms or the weapons to withstand these people that will come in to fight? Unfortunately, we have our security too that are not doing anything. I was in Benue just this week. You get to Benue now, in fact, in the Idoma speaking areas, people are living in fear. They are not sleeping with one eye open, but with the two eyes open. Nobody is sleeping. Why? Because these people the herdsmen have taken over almost the whole villages in the Idoma speaking areas. And this is a state that when you are going, you have the security men on the road. Everywhere every 30 minutes you have the security men stopping people. And what do? The policemen collect 100 naira, the soldiers collect 200 naira from drivers. So for God's sake, when you have these people that goes about taking weapons from one place to another to fight to fight in the village, how do you get them? You cannot get them, because these people on the road, the so-called security men that will say they are there to help, they are not helping. All they do is to collect 100. I'm telling you, this is something I saw myself. I'm not being told. 100 naira, the police get 100 naira, the soldiers get 200 naira. How do we fight security in this manner? How do we? People are dying, and the government should do something. It's unfortunately, anytime I talk about Nigeria, I feel bad, because I see the government not doing anything. The masses are left to themselves, and the masses are helpless. Self-help is going to be the only thing, but how do we do it? Are we going to be armed? Are we going to be licensed to carry guns or carry weapons to fight for ourselves? And if we do that, how safe are the people going to be? That is the question. Because like I said, majority of Nigerians, 90% of Nigerians are frustrated. You lead them to weapons, they kill themselves. Even not just the bandits or the terrorists. Because people are frustrated. The government should do something. Self-help, to me, will not do much. It may do it. In fact, it may do harm than good. If we are left to go to source weapons for ourselves, See, that is my fear for the self-help. But I think where we are now, we have no option than self-help. So many people are going for it, but they are going for arms secretly because they know that if the government know about it, they are in trouble. You have bandits in the bush fighting you. You are here. You cannot. Nobody is helping you. What do? The government should come out and do something. Self-help cannot help Nigerians. The government should be true to their words. The government should show us that don't come to they shouldn't come on air telling us what they are doing. They are not doing anything. We know governors that are paying. I'm sorry to say this, that are bribing reporters to keep away some of these reports about the banditry happening around their state. People are dying. Government should do something. Government is not helping. I can't see the government doing anything. Government have not done. In fact, they have not done anything. I can't see them doing anything to say they've done enough. They've not done anything, so we can't say they've done enough. We should go for self-help. Government should be true to their ways. Come out, do what they are supposed to do, and do it right, and we'll get the right thing to be done. You don't go pursuing people that are that are criticizing government in their rooms. You go, you trace them, and you arrest them, you punish them. Only for the bandits that are in the bush terrorizing the masses, and you cannot trace them. And you tell us the government is doing enough. The government is not doing enough. Our securities are just there doing nothing. I've seen this. In fact, what happened these few days in Benue, I knew that yes, we are in trouble.
All right, Amina.
We are in trouble. When people are dying, the policemen, the soldiers are on the road collecting 100 and 200 naira.
Amina, thank you so much.
Let the government do something. Let them do something. Self-help is not just enough for us here.
Indeed. Thank you so much, Amina, for your thoughts. We felt the passion through your voice. Thank you so much for calling in. I know she's coming from the line where it's beyond just self-help. Something else that came to my mind was the ungoverned spaces we have in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
You know, we're talking a lot about local government autonomy, but we're not shedding more light on how important this is to have proper grassroots governance, where you have proper governance at the grassroots level. The people there are feeling the impact of governance, civilization, and development is coming to those local governments where everywhere has the attention of that grassroots government, a proper system,
a proper ecosystem that would start from bottom to top and make it efficient. And to be honest, there are a couple of points that she made that are very, very vital. You're talking about self-help. You're talking about protecting and defending yourself. She said, is every Nigerian supposed to bear arms? How is that going to work? Because at the end of the day, with the current situation, as she said, everyone is frustrated. So are you going to hand a frustrated person arms? So we'll take our next call. Hello, good morning. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Good morning, Lilian. Good morning, Hauwa. This is Shetima Yakudima calling from Maiduguri.
Good morning, Shetima. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, we thank God.
All right.
Maiduguri is fine.
All right. What are your thoughts for us today?
Honestly speaking, this is a nice topic. It's a very good topic. It can serve as a working, for Nigeria. And I want to say this. Anybody in Maiduguri and somebody who has a sound history about the Boko Haram, he can know that the only thing that rescues Maiduguri is self-defense. Self-defense. Honestly speaking. Lilian, you can imagine when Boko Haram was at his peak in Maiduguri, Boko Haram have succeeded in capturing out of 10% of land of Maiduguri, they have captured 7%. They have drawn a line. If you are an innocent citizen, you cannot go to that land. You cannot, no matter what, you cannot risk yourself to go that area. But when we say enough is enough, we see that the security personnel, they cannot do anything. We keep up our sticks, we take our cutlasses, we pursue them. We go to their area, we pursue them. That's how Boko Haram go to the bush. We push them out of Maiduguri. No child, no man, no old woman, all of us will go out. This is the only way you can rescue yourself. Self-defense is a solution. No, you cannot agree with anybody who says self-defense is not a, it cannot yield any result. Self-defense can yield the result. We see it in Maiduguri, you practice it. With the AK-47, we push them, we chase them out. That's the only solution that you can do. But moreover, I am advising the citizens. They should desist from supplying them foodstuff. They should desist from supplying them petroleum. They should desist from supplying them any needs of life. They should leave them where they are. They block any source that something will get to them. I think by doing that, we will see the result. And we are praying for our security agents. Let them have courage. This is the only country they have. This is where their salary is coming. This is where their daily food is coming. This is where they place food on the table of their family. They should work hard. They should work hard. They take hard. These insurgency and these bandits, they are all human like us. They are all human like us. They fear death more than we fear death. They don't want to be sustain injury. We should pursue them anywhere they are. And yesterday I said, the only problem that we are having is we are doing defensive war instead of offensive campaign. You pursue them anywhere they are. You cannot wait until when they launch their attack, you will attack them. You attack them at any moment. Even during when they are eating, when they are sleeping, at any moment you pursue them. That's the only thing we can provide solution for ourselves. Thank you so much. Have a nice day.
Thank you so much, Shatima, for that. Coming from, someone who has experienced it firsthand to say
Absolutely.
Yes. It still brings me back to what that analyst said. He said, why would you be in a community and they are coming in and they are ramping up 60 able-bodied men? What happened to self-defense? What happened to standing up to fighting for yourself? What happened to having a meeting to say, okay, enough is enough. How can we defend our community? Do we do proactive steps or do we wait for them to come, but we have to be fully ready to defend our community and our children? But let's quickly take the WhatsApp messages we have for you this morning. We have a first message from Rahim. Well, the messages are a lot. I hope we'll be able to take all of them. He says, personally, I think self-defense is a basic human right, especially when your life or the lives of others are under immediate threat. Everyone should have the right to protect themselves if the system meant to protect them isn't functioning effectively. In a place like Nigeria, where insecurity is widespread and sometimes the response from security agencies is slow or absent, self-defense becomes more than just a right, it becomes a necessity for survival. I believe people shouldn't live in fear or be at the mercy of criminals while waiting endlessly for help that may not come. However, self-defense must have limits. It should never be an excuse for revenge, jungle justice, or fueling ethnic and communal violence. There should be clear rules and community-based approaches that ensure self-defense doesn't turn into something dangerous. Self-defense is right, but it must be responsible, proportionate, and ideally regulated, especially in a country dealing with complex security issues. Indeed, he has spoken very well, especially budging on the fact that there has to be a line. Exactly. It shouldn't just be carrying guns. We have ethnic tensions, we have religious tensions, we have the cases of jungle justice and revenge. People could use it for their own personal interest. So it has to be community based. I believe that's where he's coming from.
And I guess desperate times leads to desperate measures. So next up on our messages, we have John from Abuja. Good morning, Trust TV. A country where citizens resolve to self-defense is a failed country. What is happening in Nigeria is planned agenda. The government of the day is aware of it. They always come out to plead with the people to restore peace without talking about going after the perpetrators and bringing them to book. Our security men are outnumbered. Our leaders are not after nation building. What they are after is power grabbing by all means.
All right. The next message is from Idris Abubakar from Maiduguri. He said, my suggestion about the security situation in Nigeria is government should provide arms and ammunition to our security officers to curtail the situation. Thank you very much for that.
In the next message, we have Comrade Nansat from Jos. The issue of insecurity and indeed its threat has become a source of concern to the extent that nobody is safe and nowhere is safe. Interestingly, a lot of money have been spent without a corresponding result or achievement. What we need is to establish state police at the state level and community police at the local government level. Similarly, those entrusted with the responsibility of providing security and the protection of lives and properties should ensure proper use of funds allocated to them to fight insecurity. That is definitely another option that a lot of people have been talking about, having state policing, local government policing, community-based policing that would put eyes on whatever it is that is happening, that would help in, spreading out the manpower that we have in protecting people.
All right, let's take the next message from Abdul. He says, good morning, Trust TV. Self-help is not a solution to Nigerian problems. If that is the case, what is now the government's duty? Okay, let me tell you. The duties is to secure Nigerian youth and citizens. Indeed, we all know that the responsibility of the government is to secure and protect lives and properties. But in cases where the protection of lives is lagging behind, would you say the people would, what would you say should happen to citizens who don't feel safe already? All right, before we go on with the next message, let's take the next call we have. Good morning. Tell us your name and where you're calling from.
Good morning, ma'am. I'm calling from Adamu. My name is Reverend Peter Joe, ma'am.
Morning. I heard just Peters, but go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, ma'am. I want to contribute in the issue of the national security, ma'am. The issue of national security, we're talking about self-defense. If really we are talking about self-defense, first of all, federal government should legalize gun. If gun is legalized, then we talk about our self-security. How can somebody now you want him to have self-security? He has no power to purchase gun. He has no right to carry gun. Will you use ordinary hands for self-security? The answer is no. Federal government, if really they are sincere to us, like what happened in America, gun be legalized. If 20 persons as Boko Haram or 20 persons as henchmen or 20 persons as bandits or criminals are coming to a village, they know that at least all the old houses there has gun. They will be afraid. They won't come. But they will stop us not to carry gun. You can't carry gun. What the bad news are not in possession of God. So that's the problem. The innocent ones cannot have no access to God because they follow the rules of law. They obey government. But the bad news, one way or the other, acquire God. And it use it to tolerate the good time, tolerate the good news. Until legalize God. That is where
Mr. Peter, we can barely hear you. Mr. Peter, we could barely hear you. We've lost the call there. Please do well to call back so we could get your thoughts on that. But we'll still have, we'll take a couple of WhatsApp messages before we wrap up the show. We have the next message from Muyoye from Osun State. He said, it's a surety. The Nigerian police and army are overwhelmed. Hence, Nigerians must be licensed to carry defensive gun. I differ on that, with the way people are in Nigeria.
Everybody,
the way emotions are high, everybody having the license to carry a gun. I don't think that would be a solution to the insecurity. We've all spoken about community policing and a regulated and a proper structured community defense process. That would be an angle that people could look into,
All right, our next message is from Abdul. And it says, good morning, Trust TV. Self-help is not a solution to Nigerian problems. If that is the case, what are now the government's duties? Okay, let me tell them their duties. Their duties are to secure the Nigerian youths and citizens. That is absolutely correct. But at the end of the day, as I earlier said, desperate times lead to desperate measures.
All right. We'll take one last message before we go on a break. We'll have this from Ayuba from Gombe. He said, the question is self-help a solution? Of truth, for now, I would answer in the affirmative. Yes. That is in the context of setting vigilante or neighborhood watch to stop the ongoing genocide. This will go a long way in complementing the efforts of the security agencies. With the revelation of Governor Shehu Sani yesterday, the only option is self-help in an organized manner. In Plateau, we're experiencing the effects of insecurity a lot. Personally, April 19, 2020, I lost a sister as a result of insecurity. Can I wait for security agencies that are not there to protect me? I will do my best in self-help so that I will not end up like my sister. Indeed, Ayuba, it's one thing to speak when you've gone through it on a personal level because you get to understand it. Like he said, vigilante, neighborhood watch, something organized is what would work for Nigeria. But while the story of this is still in talks and a lot of Nigerians are talking about it, we hope that since we had a report saying that the president have called meetings with the service chiefs, hope that something positive will come out of that and they will live up to their responsibilities of protecting lives and properties, especially the lives of Nigerians.